Good afternoon. I'm Tracy Carla F. Pring from BSED Math 3B. Today, I'm going to answer item 2. Find P hat and Q hat for each percentage. Use each percentage for P hat. A 50%, B 37%, C 71%, D 51%, E 79%. To find P hat and Q hat, let's use the sample proportion formula. For a sample proportion, P hat is equal to X over N. Q hat is equal to 1 minus P hat. We'll use this formula instead of this one, because in the question we can use the given percentage for P hat only, where X is equal to number of sample units that possess the characteristic of interest, and N is equal to sample size. The given percentage is 15%. Our formula is P hat is equal to X over N. Our N is equal to 100%. P hat is equal to 15 over 100. So P hat is equal to 0.15. Let's use P hat is equal to 0.15 to find Q hat. So for Q hat, our formula is Q hat is equal to 1 minus P hat. Q hat is equal to 1 minus 0.15. So Q hat is equal to 0.85. Therefore, P hat is equal to 0.15 while Q hat is equal to 0.85. The given percentage is 37%. So P hat is equal to 37 over 100. P hat is equal to 0.37. Let's use P hat is equal to 0.37 to solve for Q hat. So Q hat is equal to 1 minus P hat. Q hat is equal to 1 minus 0.37. So Q hat is equal to 0.63. Therefore, P hat is equal to 0.37 while Q hat is equal to 0.63. C. The given percentage is 71%. Our formula is P hat is equal to X over N. Our N is equal to 100%. So P hat is equal to 71 over 100. So P hat is equal to 0.71. Q hat is equal to 1 minus P hat. So Q hat is equal to 1 minus 0.71. So Q hat is equal to 0.29. Therefore, P hat is equal to 0.71 while Q hat is equal to 0.29. D. The given percentage is 51%. Our formula is P hat is equal to X over N. Our N is equal to 100%. So P hat is equal to 51 over 100. So P hat is equal to 0.51. Q hat is equal to 1 minus P hat. Q hat is equal to 1 minus 0.51. Our Q hat is equal to 0.49. Therefore, P hat is equal to 0.51 while Q hat is equal to 0.49. Last, E. The given percentage is 79%. Our formula is P hat is equal to X over N. P hat is equal to 79 over 100, so P hat is equal to 0.79. Q hat is equal to 1 minus P hat, so Q hat is equal to 1 minus 0.79. So Q hat is equal to 0.21. Therefore, P hat is equal to 0.79 while Q hat is equal to 0.21.
Hello everyone, I am Regine Meady from BSED Math 3P. Today, I will be answering one item in exercises 7-3. Cano Survey. A survey of 50 first-time whitewater canoers showed that 23 did not want to repeat the experience. Find the 90% confidence interval of the true proportion of canoers who did not wish to canoe the rapids a second time. If a rafting company wants to distribute brochures for repeat trips, what is the minimum number it should print? The first thing we need to do is we need to find the value of alpha, z sub alpha over 2, p hat, and q hat. First, we need to find the alpha using alpha is equal to 1 minus the confidence level. The confidence level is 90%, so it is equal to 0.90. Alpha is equal to 1 minus 0.90 is equal to 0.10. Then we need to find the alpha divided by half. So we already know that alpha is equal to 0.10. If we will divide it by half, it is equal to 0.05. Next is we need to find z sub alpha over 2 or z sub 0.05. We know that alpha over 2 is equal to 0.05. If we will consider the whole area of the normal distribution curve, we need to subtract 0.05 from 1. 1 minus 0.05 is equal to 0.9500. Then we need to find the corresponding z value obtained from table E. As you can see on the table E, the nearest value to 0.9500 is 0.9505. Using this, the z value will be 1.65. Therefore, the z sub alpha over 2 is equal to 1.65. Next is, we need to find the value of p hat and q hat. In finding the p hat, we need to use the formula for a sample proportion formula, wherein p hat is equal to x divided by n, wherein x is the number of sample units that possess the characteristics of interest and n is the sample size. Let's substitute the given values, so x will be 23 and n is 50. So 23 divided by 50 is equal to 0.46. So p hat is equal to 0.46. Then let's find q hat using q hat is equal to 1 minus p hat. We already know that p hat is equal to 0.46. So 1 minus 0.46 is equal to 0.54. So q hat is equal to 0.54. We already found the value for alpha, which is 0.10. Alpha over 2 is 0.05. Z sub alpha over 2 or z sub 0.05 is equal to 1.65. P hat is equal to 0.46 and Q hat is equal to 0.54. Then next is, we need to use the formula for a specific confidence interval for a proportion. So these are the given values. P hat is equal to 0.46. Z sub alpha over 2 is equal to 1.65, Q hat is equal to 0.54, and N is equal to 50. So this is the formula, so let's substitute all the given values. First, in the lower limit, we have 0.46 minus 1.65 times the square root of 0.46 multiplied by 0.54 divided by 50, that is 0.46 minus 0.116 is equal to 0.344. So our lower limit is 0.344. For the upper limit, 0.46 plus 1.65 times the square root of 0.46 multiplied by 0.54 divided by 50, that is 0.46 plus 0.116 is equal to 0.576. Therefore, the upper limit is 0.576. So we can say that our specific confidence interval is greater than 34.4% and less than 57.6%. Therefore, we are 90% confident that the proportion of the canoers who did not wish to canoe the rapids for the second time is in between of 34.4% and 57.6%. If the rafting company wants to distribute brochures for repeat trips, the minimum number it should print is 34.4%. That's all for number 10 in exercises 7-3. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, classmates. So for today's video, we need to answer the item number 18 in chapter 7.3, M113. I am Charles Dini Aquino from BSED Math 3B, Group 3. The question is, obesity is defined as a body of mass index or BMI of 3 kg or more. um, a 95% confidence interval for a percentage of US adult age 20 years and over who were obese was found to be 22.4 to 23.5%. The question is, what was the sample size? Solution. Given population proportion less than 22.4% and less than to 23.5%. And class is our confidence interval is equal to 95% or 0.95. The margin of error is half the width of the confidence interval. So our margin of error is equal to 23.5 minus 22.4 all over 2. And the answer is equal to 0.55% or 0.0055. To solve the alpha, A is equal to 1 minus the confidence interval. The confidence interval is 0.5. So 1 minus 0.95 is 0.05. And the alpha over 2 is equal to 0.05 over 2. And the answer is 0.025. Then, add 0.95 and 0.025. And we get, when we add 0.95 plus 0.025 is equal to 0.975. Find the 0.975 in the Z table. And this is our Z table. So, look for 0.975 in the Z table. And when we find the 0.9750 in the Z table, and the number that intersect in 0.975 is 1.9 and 0.06. So the answer to Z sub alpha over 2 is 1.96. Formula: sample size. When sample proportion known, n is equal to Z sub alpha over 2 ay raised to 2 multiplied by sample proportion multiplied by Q hat over margin of error squared, or equal to Z sub alpha over 2 raised to 2 multiplied by P times 1 minus P hat all over E squared. So, when P is unknown, N is equal to Z alpha over 2 raised to 2 multiplied by 0.25 divided by E squared, or margin of error squared. Since sample proportion is unknown, the sample size is round up. So, this is our formula. And Z alpha over 2 is equal to 1.96. And our margin of error is equal to 0.55% or equal to 0.055. So, when we substitute into the formula, 1.96 raised to 2 times 0.25 divided by 0.0552 squared is equal to 31749. So the answer in number 18 is, the sample size is 37149. And that's all. Thank you for listening. God bless.